So hello everyone, today we are going to start with session number 16 in which we are going to make the upper housing of the motor blower assembly. So here you can see the upper housing assembly drawing has been given. We are going to follow this drawing and make this part. The purpose of making this model is to understand how to make this part as well as to revise all the commands we have taken in Solid Edge in previous lectures. So here we are going to use loft command, swap command, extrude cut, holes, etc. So to start with, I'm going to make this lower case. You can see this C type case with these flanges on the sides. So when you say new, here the option comes edit list. I'm going to select that option and going to say NC inch here. As I'm going to change this unit in NC inch, the part I'm going to draw will be in inches. So I'll say OK. And now we will start with part. So by default, the unit of this part will be inches. Again, I'll say sketch to the front plane. Next, we are going to draw the circle here. Now we can see the radius of this arc is given 6. So I'm going to take the diameter as 12 here. 12 inches. Say auto scale and OK. Next, we are going to draw a line from one quadrant to another. As this part is semicircular, that's why we have taken that line here. So I'm going to make this line as a construction line and we are going to trim the lower entity here. Now if this part becomes underdefined, you just need to click on this sketch and need to drag it. So you can see this line is not lying on the center, that's why this sketch has been underdefined. So I'm going to make one relation here, that is connect. I'll select this point of the line and point of the origin. Again, this sketch is completely defined. Next, I'm going to say offset of 0.4 inches. So for that, we need to draw this line here. The total width will be 15 mm. So from center, I'll take 7.5 here. 7.5. Next, we are going to make offset of this line. For that, I'll say offset and the value is 0.40 inches. You can see here at the lower right bottom. 0.40 inch. Select the required line to be made offset. Say accept and say at the upper side. Now we are going to close this sketch and connect this to this arc. For that I am going to use extend command here. Just we need to select the extend tab. Say extend. Now we need to close this sketch here. So for closing I am to draw this line here. And now we need to trim this portion. So I'll trim this. Again it is showing underdefined, we need to define it again. So I'm going to add relation here as collinear, this line and the center line. Next, we are going to say connect to these lines here. For that I'm going to say connect relation. Select both the points. And now you can see this complete one side has been made. I'm going to mirror this on the other side. So I'll select the entities here. First, second and this third line. Select all the three lines here first and then go for mirror. We need to say this axis as a mirror line. Next, we are going to close this sketch here. As this line was not mirrored, that's why I'm making it manually only. Just trim the entities required, and if it is underdefined, just drag and see what is the reason behind being underdefined. So I'll drag this point, you can see here. Just click on the line and drag this point. Just select the points now. And this sketch is completely defined. I'll select this line and say solid entity this time. After making this closed portion with two side flanges, we are going to say extrude here. I'll refer midplane. I'll say close sketch first and then going to go for midplane with extrude. Select the profile, say OK, and now we need to select the option as symmetric extrude with dimension of 8 inches. I'll say 8 inch here, say finish and cancel. Now this complete portion has been made, but as you can see this portion is hollow in nature. So here the thickness given we can see here in this section view AA in this side section view. So the thickness given here is 0.25 inches. So now we are going to make this part hollow in this particular C section. You can see here this thickness is 0.25 We are going to select one plane, reference plane, say as parallel plane, and we are going to go 0.25. So after adding plane, we are going to sketch this plane here, and we are going to make one circle again. Now the diameter of this circle will be 11.5, as the diameter of this circle was 12 inches. So we want constant thickness of 0.25. It is done because you can see here all the constant thickness from all the side was 0.25. That's why we have taken the diameter as 11.5 for this circle, and the outer circle was 12 mm. So next, say finish, cancel, and we are going to say extrude cut, say OK, and we need to cut the material. That's why we are going to say cut here. And now the previous total width of this part was 8 inches, and after that we need wall thickness as 0.25. So I'm going to extrude cut it by 7.5 mm. Say finish, cancel. I'll hide this plane and sketch, and now I'll observe it from top side by changing the view style. So now you can see this constant thickness is coming 0.25 on all the sides. You can see the internal portion here as shown in this figure. You can see here also this dotted line border with wall thickness of 0.25. Next we are going to do here is change the view style again, and now we are going to make this cut that is of 4.875 radius. So I'm going to make this circle again here. Say sketch to the front face. I'll draw one circle with radius as 4.875, but we are mentioning here the diameter, so I'm multiplying it by 2, 9.750. So we need to cut this material. We are going to go for extrude cut. Select the sketch, say OK, and now the end condition we require is up to surface. We can say from extent to extent option also this time. So I'll say this extent till this extent, inner face. Say finish and cancel. Now this cut is also been made. I'll hide this sketch again. Next, at the further end portion also you can see one curve has been cut, radius 1.5. So next we are going to cut this curve here. Say sketch on this face. I'll draw this circle here. Diameter to be taken here as 3 inches, as the radius was given 1.5. You can see here. Now again we are going to say extrude cut. Say close sketch. Go for extrude. Say cut. Select the required sketch and say OK. And now say through all. Say finish and cancel. We need to hide this sketch here. So now this lower body of the upper casing has been made. Now we are going to go for this upper portion here. So to start with, we need to take a reference of mid plane at side direction with the value of 8.15 inches. First I'll on the planes here. So you can see here this plane, we need a parallel reference plane at 8.15. So I'm going to go for the parallel planes here. Place the plane. So here the plane distance, I'll change it. I'll say 8.15 inch. 8.15 inches. So here the plane has been added now. Again we need to add one more plane, that will be till distance of 5.75 from the newest plane. So again one more plane here. Select the plane and reference as 5.75. Now both the planes are being placed. We'll hide this plane, and first we are going to make sketch on this outer plane, this plane first. So we are going to make this profile on that plane. Say sketch on this plane. I'll flip the direction again. I want this side to be taken. So here we need to make one rectangle having height of 5.25 and width of 7.25. So we'll start this rectangle here. I'm going to take one rectangle here. I'll select 2-point rectangle so as to draw it from corner. The sizes are 5.25 height and 7.25 width. So this is 7.25 inches and this is 5.25. Next we are going to add relation here so as to make this part symmetric from the origin. From the bottom till this upper edge of this rectangle it is given 10 mm. We'll take this value as 10 from the bottom edge till the upper edge, 10 inches. Next we are going to go for this radius. So here the radius value is given as 1.5 on all the sides. For the sectional portion also the radius will be 1.5, and the rectangle which we are drawing is also having corner of 1.5. So here we need to add the radiuses here. I'll give equal relation. Again you can see this rectangle has been disoriented and the values are being changed. It is because we have given the dimension to the lines. So it would be better if we give the dimension instead of giving to the line, we should give to the sides of the rectangle. So here this side again I'll say the value was 5.25 and the width was 7.25. Again we'll match the orientation from the center. So now this sketch is completely defined. Next we'll say close sketch, and we are going to make another sketch on the plane we have hidden earlier. So we'll hide this plane now and going to show the other plane which we have taken earlier only. Say sketch to this plane now. Again we'll say left side so as to orient it properly. And now you can see one thing, both the rectangles, this one and this sectional cut portion rectangle, having the upper edge as common. So we'll draw this rectangle from 2 point only, but having the upper edge common for both the rectangles. Here the sizes were 5.75 and 4.20. So here this side is 4.20. Again I am going to select the sides instead of line. 4.20 here, and this as 5.25. All the values are in inches. We have drawn this part completely in inches. We need to select the orientation, select this point and this point. Now it is oriented at the center. Again we need to go for the radius values. So I'm going to add the fillets again here, but you can see the values are not disturbed. So we need to give the value here as 1.5 only. Same with the earlier value. Again go for equal relation. And you need to adjust it again to the center orientation. Again go for the relation here. Say collinear also to this line and this line. Now this complete sketch is also been defined. So now you can see there are two profiles, two close profiles that are going to be lofted here. Say close sketch now, and now we'll use loft command so as to add the material between two profiles. Select the loft, select both the features, say preview, but this loft is coming in little curve shape. It is because these 2 points, the blue points, are at alternate positions. So I'll cancel it first and again go for the loft here. In add mode, say loft, select this profile. I'll select this point and this point here. Say preview. It is lofted in a straight profile. Say finish and cancel. Now we need to make this portion hollow by using thin wall command. And now the thickness will be 0.25, which we have taken earlier also. For that I'm going to say thin wall. So here 0.25 as a thickness, we can see here 0.25, and then select the faces to be opened, this face and this face. Both the faces are open now. Say OK, preview and finish. So this complete portion has been made here. Next we are going to go for this portion, this mid portion now. For that I am going to say sketch to this face, and we need to say project sketch. For these outer edges I am going to say project to sketch. It is similar to convert entities in SolidWorks. So I am selecting this all the edges now. So you can see one close profile will be made. I am going to loft that profile by making one guide curve also here using sweep command. So this profile has been made. I'll say close sketch and finish. Next we are going to make one path here. I select this plane, say sketch, and now we need to make one path. For that I'm going to say line, first line. Next, the value for the straight portion is not given. It is conjected with the arc. You can see this tangent arc has been made with the line, having the radius as 10. So I'm going to make that arc here. I'll select 3-point arc option. First point, second and third. Next, we need to set tangency at the upper side with line and arc. Extra portions will be trimmed here. And now this portion is connected to this endpoint. I'll say this arc as radius 10 inches. So now this curve has been made. Earlier we have projected this profile also. So now we are going to go for sweep command, adding material by sweep. I'll say close and go to add tab. Add tab we are going to go for sweep. And after going for sweep, select the options option here. Select the single path and cross section. Say tangency and continuous. Say OK. Now we need to select the curve first, say OK, and then we need to select the profile. Then say finish and cancel. You can see here, this body has been added by using sweep command. But you can see, this portion is coming inside. So we need to cut that portion later. So for cutting this feature inside and maintaining 0.25 thickness, again we need to go for sweep cut. So I'll say sketch to this plane now, and we'll say transparency here, so as to observe the internal profile and project it. I'm going to say project entities, and we are going to project this profile. We need to trim this, and this complete profile has been made now. I'll again say it's solid. Say close sketch. Next thing we are going to go is for guide curve. Say finish, cancel. And for guide curve, I'm going to select this mid plane. Say sketch. This line command. Select this line. We are going to make one straight line first. Next thing we are going to here after making line is 3-point arc. Arc by 3 points. First point, second point somewhere here, and the third point. Next is we need to make this line and curve tangent, and we need to add the radius also here. We'll provide one radius as 10 inches only. We'll make trim for this extra line, and now this complete curve is also been made. Now we are going to say close sketch and go for sweep cut. So in this cut tab, I'm going to select sweep. Select the guide curve first. Go for the options and check the options whether they are right or not. Now in options we need to observe whether it is single path, whether the face tangency is coming or not, and merging faces are no merge or full merge. I'll say no merge only. Say OK after selection of this guide curve, and then we need to select the profile here. Say finish and cancel. Now this cut is also been made. You can see this complete cut has been made inside this body. So now this part is completely hollow, this portion. We need to cut this extra material from inside. For that again we'll go and say sketch to this face, this internal face. Select the sketch command and say sketch. I'll make this part transparent. We need to select project curve here again and go for this selection here. I'm going to select this line tab. Say close sketch. So I've selected this internal feature here. You can see here. Make this part visible. So I've selected this internal edge and close the portion by the line. And we have set sketch to this internal face only, as we need to cut only this internal material till here. So the close profile is ready. Say close sketch. So after making this profile, we are going to go for extrude cut. I'll select this cut. Say we need to cut the material here. Select the sketch required. Say OK. And the option I'm going to select here is from extend to extend. So I am going to cut from this face the material till this face and say finish and cancel. Now you can see this internal material is also been cut. I'll hide these sketches here so as to understand. Also hide the planes, reference planes. If you need, you can hide this axis also here, as well as these planes, the earlier planes. So now you can see the material has been cut here also. This complete portion has been hollow here. Now we need to make one radius also here. So for that I'm going to go for round option, and the radius here given was 0.5. You can see this value. Select round and select this edge. Say this value as zero point 0.5 inches. Say preview and finish. This round is also been made here. Next, lastly, we need to make these holes here, having diameter of 0.41 inch and center to center distance as 2 inches, making it position from this corner at 0.75 inch and from the vertical distance as 1 inch. So here I'm going to make that hole. I'm going to say sketch on this face. We are going to use extrude cut only this time. Select the diameter here and place the hole. So here the diameter was 0.41 inches. Next, the placement was given 0.75 horizontally. You can see here this distance 0.75. I'll take this value as 0.75, and here the vertical distance was given 1 inch. Again, smart dimension, select this edge and this arc, say 1 inch. After positioning and making this hole, say close sketch and go for extrude cut here. Select this and say OK. End condition till last. Say cancel. Now we need to make pattern of these holes. So for that I'm going to select the pattern command. Select the pattern. We need to select the feature. This cutout. Say OK. Next we are going to select the face. And in face we are going to take rectangular path for the pattern. I select the center point and take this path here. Now we need to say type of pattern. So here in rectangular pattern I'm going to say fixed type. In x direction I'm going to go for 4 entities here, and in y direction 2 only. So the distance will be, as here the distance is given as 2 inches, and this center to center distance will be, the total distance was 15 inches. I'll minus this 0.75 from the right side and 0.75 from the left side. Total deduction will be 1.5 out of 15 inches. So here the distance will be 13.5. Next we need to say close sketch, finish, and the holes are made on the other side also now. Here you can see this complete part has been made. Now we need to apply appearance if we want. So I'll go for this appearance option again. I'll go for material instead of appearance. In model tree I'll say material, right click on the option, go for this material table, and we are going to apply one material here. I'm going to take metals. In metal I'm going to take iron as grey cast iron. Whatever material you want you can take. The properties of that particular metal are being shown here. Say apply to model. After applying to model we are going to go for render option again. So for render I'm going to select this tools tab. In tools I'm going to say key shot options. It will take a little bit time there. Now in key shot, after taking this I'm going to go for this option, that is environment. If I want background to be changed as color background, I can go for the color background there. If I want the image to be shown in a perspective way, then you can go for this perspective option. If you want to manage the lights, go for this lights option. Add the contrast or brightness you want, and you can adjust the rotation also here. Next we are going to say final render. After adjustments, just go and say render, and in render it will ask you some more settings there. So you can name the file here. I'll say it uppercasing of water blower. Then it will ask you for the root you want to save it. I'll say this folder sign. I'll click on this folder sign. I want to be placed and saved at desktop. So in desktop I'm going to select render parts and say select folder. Finally I want render. This part has been rendering. If I want to save this image, I'll save. You can see this complete motor has been rendered here. So this was the upper part of the motor blower assembly, the upper casing. And say steel. I'm going to select this body and say steel appearance, say close. Again, if I want to render, then go for this tools. In tools, I'll say key shot. If you want to adjust lights and all, again go for this contrast option. Increase the brightness if you want. If you want to change the rotation, I'll rotate it a little bit. If I want to pan or adjust it, lastly we'll say render. I'll say new name here. Here I'll add the folder also. Say render. We'll again change the appearance here. Go to part painter. Select the type of selection as body, and we are going to change it into copper or bronze here. So for applying copper or bronze appearance, we are going to go here and select this bronze appearance. Select the part, say close. So in this way we are going to end this lecture. We have made the upper housing of motor blower assembly. We are going to continue the lectures for solid edge. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Till then, thank you.